Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's video, I thought that we'd get a little bit personal, up close and personal, and do a get to know me Q&A session, a little bit more chilled and relaxed. So if you want to grab a drink, grab a coffee, in my case, grab a hot chocolate, and I'll be answering some of the questions that I got you guys to send me over on Instagram and TikTok. So let's start. And the first question was, no makeup for a month or no skincare for a week? I thought that was a very, very wild question, because if you know me well enough, you'll know what my answer to this would be. I would say I would rather go for no makeup for a month over skincare, because for me, as much as I'm a makeup artist, I love makeup. Skincare for me is everything. I love nothing more than going days on end without wearing any makeup whatsoever. And I always say that makeup should be that additional thing that you would do to kind of enhance what you naturally have. And that's why I focus so much on skincare and skin prep. So the idea of having to wear no makeup for an absolute month where my skin can breathe and feel amazing. And then I'm just thinking about the end of that month when I then finally get to wear my makeup. The way that the makeup will just sit so beautifully. I don't know if you've ever had this, but I love nothing more than when I've gone a few days or even a few weeks without wearing any makeup. And then the day that I wear makeup, my skin just looks incredible. My makeup just lays beautifully and I just get the best makeup look ever. Smooth, hydrated, glowing skin is always going to be it for me. So I would definitely say no makeup for a month. Okay. This question was actually really, really funny. What's your red flag and what's my green flag? I think my red flag, and I've really noticed this about myself, is that I'm not really good at communicating when I'm in a very tight spot or if I feel a certain type of way. I wouldn't say that I ghost, but if I feel disrespected, if I feel like I'm just not in a good space mentally, I'll just go quiet. I won't say anything. I won't communicate how I'm feeling. I'll just go ghost, or I'll book a flight and go somewhere. And especially in therapy, when I'm trying to learn more about myself, one of the things I'm really learning to do is just communicate how I'm feeling. Just say, look, this is where I'm at. I think I need a bit of space. I need a bit of time. And I will come back when I feel like I'm in a better space, because not talking about how you're feeling isn't going to help either. And completely kind of glossing over it and thinking it's going to go away is only going to add to it. So I think that would be my red flag. My green flag is that I feel like I'm the most I'm the best hype person. If someone's going through something or they need a pep talk or they want to feel better about themselves, I'm your number one cheerleader. I'm going to be that person that's going to hype you up, that's going to tell you that you're amazing, that you can do this. I'll send you a gift. I just really love making people feel good. So I feel like that is my green flag. But yeah, definitely. I feel like that's complete opposites of me as a person. And I feel like that's how I am as a person. I'm either really, really into the situation or into you or into it, and I give my 110%, or I kind of don't. So that's kind of my green and my red flags. I'd love to know yours, but I thought that was a really cool question. Question number 3 was, how did I land my first brand deal? This is really, really good, actually. I must preface this and say that the job that I'm doing now currently as a content creator wasn't the job that I initially envisioned myself going into. So if you guys don't know, I'm a makeup artist by trade. That's what I trained in after I finished university. I actually studied media and communications at university because I knew I wanted to work in beauty, but I think I wanted to work more behind the scenes, either in beauty PR or beauty journalism. And then I went and did my degree in media and communications, and I thought I'd be working behind the scenes on these glossy magazines such as Vogue, Marie Claire, and that just wasn't my reality at all. I didn't love my course, which I think is the same as a lot of people. They do their degree and they think they're going to have all these expectations, but it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And I just literally didn't enjoy my uni experience towards the end of it. So I graduated with a 2-2. And I'm actually really glad that I did it, because I feel like even now to this day, I do still utilize a lot of my elements from my degree, such as the writing part. I write for Sheerluxe, and I'm a beauty contributor, and I do work within digital media, print, and all that kind of stuff. But I was really itching for the practical side of things. I love beauty and skincare. Fun fact, I went to Loughborough University, And imagine that's all the way in Leicestershire, and I would travel from Leicestershire just to go to Oxford Street and go shopping. I don't know who I thought I was, but I would save whatever money that I got from my part-time job, and I would literally love nothing more than to go shopping and buy products from like Clarins and buy makeup and buy skincare, because the town that I was at for uni, they had nothing in terms of shops. The nearest city would be like Leicester, but I was like, just get me to London. I just wanted to be in London. And I just really had this love for beauty, even from a young age. Like I would save my pocket money and I'd buy like Glamour magazine. And you know, these magazines are expensive. They'd be like £2-3. But I would literally just go straight to the back of it and just read all the beauty stuff. And I just really wanted to kind of be in the, like, you know, in the know about like the latest trends and stuff. And so I thought, I've done my degree now, I've graduated, I've made my mum happy, I need to do what's best for me. So I retrained as a makeup artist. And I worked for over 10 years for different makeup brands. I started at Clarins as an account manager. That's where my love of skincare came from. Then I was an account manager for Lancome. And then I really wanted to work for a makeup brand because that was where my passion was. And I started working for Bobbi Brown. I applied numerous times, was rejected. And then I finally landed a job working for Bobbi Brown, which was my dream job. And if anyone had said to me, where would you see yourself working for the rest of your life? It would have been at Bobbi Brown, because I just loved the ethos. I just loved what Bobbi Brown would say about being your own makeup artist, being your own beauty expert, and really learning to become your own makeup artist yourself, as opposed to someone just teaching you and you not knowing what you needed to do. And I worked my way up. I was at Bobbi Brown for 6 years. I then became a pro makeup artist. And then I got the job at Pat McGrath as their education artistry manager for the UK. And that role was incredible, but I really then felt like there was this pull to kind of like start creating content with different brands that I loved. And so I say all that to say, to kind of tell you my history, was that my first brand deal wasn't because I kind of went into it thinking that was my path. It was very much like, you know, lockdown happened and I had all these different brands reaching out to me, because obviously everything was then becoming digital because we weren't able to go into store and shop. And I think my first ever brand deal was with Strivectin, which was a skincare company, funnily enough. And I was so nervous about it because I didn't know how much to charge. And I was so lucky that I had, you know, really good people in my corner. And that's one thing I would say, is speak to people that are already doing the job that you want, because they can give you advice and tell you what to do, what not to do, what mistakes that they made. And my good friend Lisa Potter Dixon really kind of steered me in the right direction and kind of gave me a lot of help, because she was also, you know, on the path to becoming a content creator and was a makeup artist for, you know, beauty brands for many years before she kind of went for it alone. And yeah, I've been doing it since 2021. But yeah, 2021 was my first ever brand deal. And yeah, they just kind of like messaged me and emailed me. And that's when a lot of my brand partnerships will come in. It's like, they'll email you and like ask you like, what are your rates? We'd love to work with you. And it's kind of gone from there. And I'm really grateful for the job that I have. On to the next one. How does one become a successful beauty influencer? This is a really good question, but I think it's very loaded in the sense that I don't advise for you to go into this job wanting to become a beauty creator. You have to be very passionate about the job. I think, especially in this day and age where there's so many people that want to be content creators, consistency is key. And I was doing unpaid content, working for brands for over 10 years before I even started this. And I think had I gone into it wanting just to do it for the money, I probably wouldn't have been consistent. I was showing up every day, creating content, doing videos on my Instagram page, which is my first sort of platform that I started on, for free. No one was paying me. And to be fair, I was working for makeup brands, so I wasn't able to talk about other brands that were competitors because it was kind of like a conflict of interest. And so I say that to say that what you're seeing now is actually over 10 years worth of hard work. And I was saying this to a friend the other day where I was talking about like no one really knows about what you're going through and how you experience things behind the scenes. No one knows the struggle, the fight, the early mornings, having to take your kit up and down. You know, my first kind of like income was me doing makeup for brides and all that kind of stuff. So I was doing a lot of grafting and hard work in my 20s, and actually I kind of missed out on a lot. I missed out on like outings with my friends. I missed out on a lot of travel. That's why when people see me now, they're like, oh my God, you're living your best life. And I'm like, but that's because I actually slogged it and worked really hard for over 10 years. And actually I'm kind of reaping the fruits of my labor now. So I would say Find out what it is about you that makes you unique. Like, what is a thing that people can say you're the kind of go-to in that particular thing? For me, even though I'm a makeup artist, I think I was somebody that was always talking about a skin first approach to makeup, when at a time there wasn't really anyone talking about that. Skincare wasn't really a focus until it was like lockdown. And so for years I was really talking about, make sure you prep your skin, look after your skin first and foremost. That was so important for me. And so when people look at me, they really understand and know that if you're really looking to kind of create that signature glow and that radiant look, definitely go to Adiola. So I think it's so important to actually know what it is that's your USP. What are you known for? What are people going to be going to you for? And if you think about some of your favorite beauty content creators, they're known for a particular thing. You know, when you think about Gloria, she's known for calling brands out for the fact that they don't really, you know, include deeper, darker skin tones. Or when you think of someone like Uche, who I absolutely love, she's known for like a perfect base. Like, she's all about the base and is the base queen. So think about what it is that makes you unique in this space and really hone in on that. For me, it's that skin first approach. Keep learning. I think that's so important. You know, even to this day, I love going to courses. I love, you know, learning from other makeup artists, learning from others in the beauty industry. And even when you see content that you're really inspired by, don't just copy it. Like, have your own spin and have your own take on it as well. And really build your community. I think that's really important. There's so many people out there that are looking for education, that are looking to learn from you. And, you know, growing is great. And I think people sometimes can be so focused on the numbers side of things. But I think for me, I really love showing up for the people that day in, day out, regardless of whether I post every single day or not, you know, there's a community there that really like ride for me and really want to kind of see me win. And so whatever I do, they're just excited to see me, you know, create content. So I think that's a really, really important thing to remember. But yeah, if you are wanting to become a beauty content creator, I think the biggest thing is actually to think about what is it that makes you unique. And also just to make sure that you stay consistent. Don't do it for the fame and the glory and all that kind of stuff. Do it because you actually have a passion for it. And if brands weren't paying you and if you weren't being paid to do it, you would still show up for yourself and do this content regardless. Okay, next question is 3 beauty products that I'll always repurchase. This is a really good one. I think my top 3 would definitely be the Nuxe Dry Oil. I love Nuxe as a brand. I love a body oil. The great thing about that product and the reason why I love it so much is that it's a multi-purpose product. So for me and my makeup kit and my personal kit, space is a premium. It's really difficult to kind of like make sure that you don't overload your kit and your, you know, your beauty cabinets with too many things. So I love to use multi-purpose products. So I'm always looking for things that I can use for multiple uses. And the Nuxe oil is amazing. Smells incredible. There's so many variations of it. I love the original one. It's a dry oil, but they also do like the shimmering ones, which are amazing on the skin. And the way to make your skin glow, they've even launched a rollable option, which I think is so genius, that you can literally just roll on. And it literally just gives your skin the most incredible glow. I love to use it on my body. You can even use it on the face as well if you want to highlight your cheekbones, and you can even use it in your hair. And it just smells so gorgeous as well. So if I had like a desert island product that I wanted to take with me, it would definitely be the Nuxe body oil. Number 2 would probably be a product from SkinCeuticals. Currently, my obsession is the Petiox. I think that product is so good, just to help with, you know, banking that collagen, giving you that glass-like skin and giving your skin that glow. And I've seen the biggest transformation with that product. And then my 3rd and final product that I'm currently loving at the moment would probably be like a Summer Fridays lip balm or some form of lip balm. I can't bear my lips being dry. And so I need something that's kind of like glossy and helps to give my lips that sort of like juicy look. So at the moment, I think I've currently got on a Dior lip balm oil, which I'm really, really loving at the moment. I'm also loving the Summer Fridays lip butter balm. So those would be my favorites. Okay, next question is, how did I build my confidence? And I love this question because I think for me, I'm not somebody that's naturally confident. I've really worked on myself over the years, and I think I'm still working on myself. I always say that I'm a work in progress. I think what was really important for me was that I just got to a stage in my life, especially now me being in my mid-30s, where I was just so tired of dimming my light. And, you know, I'm a massive believer in that sort of like old adage where it's like, comparison is a thief of joy. There's only one of me, and I think I wasted so much of my years, especially my early years, I wasn't a confident child. I wasn't somebody that exuded confidence. I really had like, issues with my body image and how I looked and how I felt. And it was one of the reasons why I wanted to go into beauty, because I really wanted to kind of learn the tools to kind of build up my self-image and my confidence. And I think when you're young, it's like really striking that balance to making sure that you have positive role models around you, people that inspire you, that look like you. Because I think if I'd had more of that when I was younger, I probably wouldn't have like spent so many years of my life like knocking my confidence. But I really feel that in my 30s, with the resources that I've been able to have, i.e. therapy, just working on myself in general, I really was able to kind of work on myself and get the tools to ensure that I became the best version of myself, because that's the journey that I'm really on now. My journey hasn't been linear, and it's one of those things whereby it's a constant thing. And don't get me wrong, I have days where I struggle to get out of bed. I have days, especially with social media, it's so hard sometimes, especially in the job that I have, to show up for myself constantly. Because when you're not feeling your best, or you're not feeling 100%, the last thing you want to do is be in front of a camera. But when it's your job, you also have to be very mindful of the fact that you need to, show up for yourself, but also show up for the people that love seeing you. So I think for me, it's not about being loud. I will never be a loud person. It's not about being, someone that I'm not. It's about me being the best version of myself. So just giving myself grace is very important. But also just looking at the things that I love about myself and just really honing in on that is really, really important. So yeah, I'm a work in progress, but I feel like at the age of 36 is the best I've ever felt in my life. 2 main treatments that have helped my skin be flawless. Thank you for this question. I wouldn't say that my skin is flawless, but I would say that I've worked really, really hard to kind of get it to the best of its ability. I'm really lucky in the job that I have the accessibility to go and have amazing treatments. But I also think it's very important for me to have those treatments and try them out before I recommend them, because I know that there's so many of you that want to try different things. And before you part with your hard-earned cash, I want to have these treatments done so I can kind of share with you whether I feel like it's worth it or not, because a lot of the times they can be super expensive. I think number one for me would be chemical peels. I think that's one treatment that I have every year without fail. Let me know if you want me to do a video where I round up my favorite sort of like skin treatments with you guys. But yeah, number one would be chemical peels. I have chemical peels at least once a year. And I tend to have them towards the end of the year. I never really have them around the height of summer, because I just feel like your skin is susceptible to being in the sun. It's going to be sensitive. You want to make sure that you're having it what we call the peel season, which tends to be around October, November, December, when obviously it's winter time and there's not as much sunlight or direct exposure to sun. I've had 2 forms of peels which I really love. The first would be at the Adonium Medical Clinic with Dr. Jikemi. I've had the VI peel, which I really enjoyed. The only thing with that peel where I found it a little bit difficult is that you have to do a lot of prep beforehand. So when you have your consultation, they will normally give you like a package or a recommendation of skincare to use to get your skin ready and prepared for the chemical peel. So that one's also a really good one to go for, but my preference would be the Perfect Peel. I absolutely love the Perfect Peel. I had my last one done in December of last year. I actually had it a couple of days before Christmas because I knew I was going to be at home. I wasn't going to be seeing anybody. I was just going to be at home eating with my family. And I didn't care that my skin would be peeling off. So I thought it was the perfect time, whilst I have a bit of downtime and everyone's, with their families for Christmas, to get a Perfect Peel. And what I love about the Perfect Peel is that you literally can wake up one day and be like, I want to have a peel today, or I want to have a peel tomorrow. There's no prep involved. They do different formulas or different strengths, depending on whether you want to have the downtime of like the peeling for 5 to 7 days, or whether you don't want to have the peeling. I think I've had the super blend where you do have the peeling, because I really want to have that, revealing of the fresh skin. And I love it. The service and the treatment is done in a matter of minutes. I think everything in total with the consultation and then obviously them doing the peel and then obviously explain the aftercare is nothing more than like 20, 25 minutes, or even like less than that, even 15 minutes. But I love it. You do peel though. You got to be prepared for that. Peeling is roughly between 5 to 7 days. I would say that the more that I've had the treatment done, the less my peeling is, because my skin has become acclimatized to it. But I think for your first time, be prepared to peel for at least 7 days. But the results are incredible. Like your skin just glows like nothing else, and it's just amazing. Great for, stimulating collagen, great for, the removal of any hyperpigmentation, dark spots, because essentially what it's doing is it's basically removing that top layer of dead skin, to reveal the more brighter, more even skin underneath. And I swear by having a chemical peel. And remember, you don't have to go straight in for full-on, you know, peeling peel. There's different ones. There's more superficial ones that literally just, you know, target the top layers of the skin. There's more of your in-depth peels that really, you know, reveal more brighter skin because it really takes off those like layers of dead skin. But I can't swear by having a peel. I would say that if you are somebody that is prone to picking your skin, it's probably not the treatment for you. But I just literally have my scissors on hand and I will just cut off the dead skin, and it's just very satisfying. But the results at the end, when your skin looks incredible, is the best. The next treatment that I love, that I really, really enjoy, is laser treatments. I think if you're looking to resurface your skin and you're really looking to kind of stimulate collagen production, definitely look at a laser facial. I've had the Core Peel laser at the Tattoo Clinic with Dr. Wasim, which I really, really loved. That was a really good one. Again, has a bit of downtime, about 5 days, but it's a really good laser and it's, you know, suitable for deeper skin tones. And I recently had at the Dr. House Clinic with Dr. Ariel, Red Touch laser, which is all about collagen stimulation. So it has a red laser at the end. So if you're somebody that loves red light therapy, you're going to really enjoy this. It kind of combines red light with laser. No downtime with it, like literally your skin just feels really radiant and glowing, and I really, really have enjoyed it. The only thing I would say about that treatment is that you do have to have quite a few of the treatments to see the difference. So I think I was recommended to have at least 6, and they're quite expensive. So I think it's about £800 a pop, which is quite a lot. So I would say if you're looking at one of the treatments that's really going to give you a really good skin resurfacing and also tackle with hyperpigmentation, then maybe look at having a chemical peel. The next question is top tips for my healing journey. This is a really good question because I think my healing journey is ongoing. But the first thing I would say is to give yourself grace. I always think about this, and someone said this to me the other day. If your friend came to you and said, I'm having a really difficult time, or I'm really struggling, or I need to kind of heal, you would be so supportive of your friend. And I think one of the things that we really struggle with, or at least I've struggled with, is that I'm my own worst critic. I'm not as kind to myself as I wish I could have been. And I think that's so important. Talk to yourself the way that you would talk to your friend. You know, talk to yourself the way you talk to your best friend. You know, if you knew that your best friend was going through a very difficult time and you wanted to give your friend like words of encouragement, you would give them grace. You would tell them all the things that they needed to hear to feel amazing. I wish that we would do the same for ourselves a lot of the time. And I feel like we don't do that. We're so quick to kind of talk to ourselves in a very negative way. We're so quick to say things to ourselves that we shouldn't be saying. And I think that's so important, is to give yourself grace. The same way that you give your friend grace, the same way that you'd give a stranger grace, the same way that you'd give a family member grace. Really utilize that on yourself, because I think we're so prone to being very negative. And I think the negative self-talk is one of the things that we find very difficult, or at least I find very difficult. The second thing I would say is to surround yourself with people that speak life into you. So there's a really good quote in life where you want people that are either fire starters or fire lighters. And I think that's a really good way to think about things. People that are fire starters are people that create chaos in your life. They come in, they just create chaos, they start fires, not really there to kind of help you extinguish it, or at least help you to kind of like breathe life into you. And I'm very mindful about the kind of people that I have in my life. I want people that light my fire. I want people that really help me to feel good about myself, that keep that energy going, that are passionate, that I can learn from, that are just really good energy. And I think that's really important. Have people around you that give you that energy, that make you feel good about yourself. That's so important. And I think for me, as somebody that really takes on other people's energy, you know, if someone's emotional, I then take that on. If someone's not having a great day, I'm prone to taking that on. I'm really working on that. But I think it's also made me very mindful of like having boundaries and being mindful of the kind of people that I have around me. So that's really, really important. And then journaling. I try and journal at least every single day. If I haven't got a busy schedule, it's one of the first things that I do. I actually quite like to kind of journal on my phone if I'm not able to write it down. My writing in my journal is like my preference. But if I'm short on time, or if I'm able to go on a walk, I'll just like speak and do voice notes into my phone. And then obviously, you know, when they can kind of like, you can speak into your phone, it kind of writes everything out for you. I think it's so important because that way you're able to kind of like dump like what you're feeling onto a page, get your feelings out. Sometimes you don't want to speak to someone, but sometimes you just want to get things out of your mind. And I think that's really, really important. So yeah, that's one of the things that I would say. Get it out, write it down, journal. That's one of my favorite things to do, but that's how I've really worked on my whole healing journey. Okay, the last 2 questions, and these are really good ones. What inspired me to start my beauty journey? I think for me, I really felt like I wanted to be seen in a space where I really loved beauty and I really appreciated it for what it was, but I wasn't really seeing anyone that looked like me. And I think when you're young, it's so important to have representation. That was one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about me being a Black woman in the beauty space, and why I really love working with young women, teenagers. Last year or the year before, I actually did a masterclass in partnership with some of my favorite brands, where my auntie and her daughter got together, a group of her friends, and I basically went through with them about like skincare and makeup prep, and I absolutely loved it. It was just so rewarding because I just felt like I would have loved to have had someone that was like me, that would come in and just really kind of teach me how to do my makeup. Because when you think about it, who actually teaches anyone to do their makeup when they're younger? I think this generation are so lucky because they have so much access to things like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Like if you want to know about the latest launches, you can easily go on there and see faces that look like you. You could even search into the search engine and be like, find the right lip liners for a darker skin tone. But when I was coming up, there was none of that. And so I think for me, I really wanted to kind of go into a space where I literally felt like I wasn't seen. And I wanted to kind of be amongst those that could, you know, be the person that someone can go to and feel like they could be seen and actually feel like, oh, I can do what Adeola's doing, or I feel like, you know, I see myself in Adeola. I think that's so important. So that was really important for me. And also I think for me, it was very important for me to kind of like build my self-confidence. And I felt like the more that I was able to learn about my skin, my makeup, how to do my makeup, it just really helped with my confidence as well. So yeah, feeling seen, building my self-esteem. I think people look at beauty and think it's very frivolous. It's one of the most rewarding, just one of the most, you know, beautiful industries. And I feel so honored to work in the industry because I feel like it does so much for boosting people's confidence. I remember when lockdown happened and we weren't able to have our makeup treatments, our beauty treatments, and how much of a loss we felt. And not from a way that, oh, I can't get my eyebrows done, I can't get my pedicures or my manicures done. It's just that when you're going through something, you know, you want to like buy products that help you feel better. You know, I want to buy, you know, something that's going to make me feel good, whether it's a lipstick or a mascara or a foundation or a body product that's going to make my skin feel amazing. There's so much within this industry that really helps people look and feel better about themselves. And so I just feel really honored to be in this industry. And then the next one is, what do people assume about me that's not true? I think the thing that people assume about me is that I'm always put together, and I'm not. I think when people look at me online, they must look at me and think, oh, she always like looks really good, her hair's always done. I think I'm very mindful about the kind of things I do. So I always say I do like these maintenance things to make things more easy for me day to day. So whether it's, for example, having my brows done, or making sure that I look after my skin, or making sure that I get my wigs done with Chrissy Bells, these are all things that I invest in so that I'm not having to think about them every single day. Because when it comes to things like my hair, I have no clue. That's why I invest in my Chrissy Bells wigs, because I'm like, I want to go to an expert that knows their stuff about hair so I'm not having to worry about it. When it comes to makeup, skincare, I've got that down. But everything else, I want to invest in so that I can feel put together when I don't feel put together, if that makes sense. So I think that's the biggest thing. I kind of invest in myself so that I don't have the pressure of feeling like I have to feel I need to do my makeup every single day, or I need to do my skincare do you know what I mean? Like I need to kind of feel like I'm put together even when I'm not. And that's to say that 9 times out of 10, if you see me where I live, I look like any average Joe. And I don't need to feel like I need to be done up every single day to feel good. And so I think that's why it's so important to kind of do those little things for yourself, invest in your self-care so that you can feel good even on the days that you don't. And so that's what I feel like people assume about me. I think they look at me sometimes and they're like, oh my God, Adeola's so glam every single day. No, babes, 9 times out of 10, I leave my house with no wig on, just my average clothes, and I feel just as confident then as when I have my makeup done and I look glam. So I hope that you guys feel like you know me a little bit more, especially for any of you newbies that have started to follow me on my journey on YouTube. If you do have any other questions, feel free to comment them below and I'll definitely give them an answer for you guys. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video on my YouTube channel. Bye guys.